Two guys racing for 100 grand. Business is about to pick up.
I like it.
And this is where, we talked a little bit under the commercial break and how these inexperienced guys, we haven't been racing a whole bunch today, so a lot of this is trial and error on what they're going to do here in the next few laps and the moves they're going to make. So you're going to see a lot of mistakes. You're going to see some missed blocks. You're going to see some crashes, which is definitely the time you want to see yourself up front. You see those two Gibbs cars that figured out down there with Noah Gregson and Christopher Bell. And then you see Elliott Sadler knowing what he's doing up front.
The number one thing I see going on right now is all these guys have lost their dance of partners. Somehow, some way, they're going to have to get situated again, going to have to line back up with your teammates because we all know from experience that's what it takes to get that winning move.
And from about 16th forward are the guys who didn't pit. So we've got about a 10-lap window here of guys that are in different sections of pit strategy. So, Ricky, do you have anything to add on the strategy?
I do. Looking at some of those cars that kept coming back in and topping off, I like that move. I think, as you know, running around in the draft, we can save a ton of fuel and still keep up. So those cars that kept coming down pit road, my get-home lap was 69 to 68 that Larry Mack and I crunched the numbers on. So the 9, 16, 7, 22, 19, some of those cars that came down pit road, I think are in a great position coming into the end of this race. Some of these lead cars, not a lot of experience, are going to have to come down pit road. Maybe under green could be costly. Ryan, down to you.
Yeah, everybody, like you said, Ricky, I really like the call on the 22 to 7, a couple other cars that came down the road and topped off. I talked to Brian Wilson, the crew chief for the 22. He said they're really, really close to making it, so he could take a little bit of time trying to get back up to the field to save a little bit of that gas in the draft, like you talked about, to see if they can run all the way to the end. Bubba, what do you got?
The same thing that we've all been saying. The front runners that stayed out there, they are in desperate saving mode here. They're going to get several caution laps here to get that window open up for them. But this is Talladega. Cautions do breed caution, so it might fall into their hands. We'll see what we got. Back to you guys.
Man, I think these guys said, you know what, we're going to ride through these first two stages, and then we're going to race.
I bet you there's some spotters and probably crew chiefs saying, now there is 45 laps to go here, but I mean, that's what we love about this place. Whether you're a competitor or a fan, the heart rate goes through the roof, and this is what we live
Well, I
for.
was just going to say something about the 9 because I felt like last lap he was in the bottom lane, and this lap he's in the top lane. Eric, what's he got going on? Apparently his car changing lanes pretty good.
Well, it does look to be changing lanes pretty good, but he came down and topped off on fuel like Ricky was saying, and I agree that's a good move because if you look back to Daytona, he was the guy that barely made it on fuel and had the track position to get to the end and win the race. So hopefully it's going to work out the same for him today.
And we see some of those guys that came in and topped off at the end of that last pit cycle. You see a couple guys on that last pitted on lap 63. He's one of those guys that came back in the next lap and pitted on 64, and Cindric came in on 65. So there's a couple laps, and that could matter.
And it's not easy to move through this field. You see back here the 7 car of Justin Allgaier, right? He was up front, doing really well. He's got a fast car. He has made zero progress since this race has restarted. So it is definitely, you get trapped back there, and there's only, where are you going to go? It's 3 wide. You got no lanes to move in, so you got to be patient, but you don't want to get in that crash. He's in the danger zone.
It definitely gridlocks. As wide as this track is, you're sitting there watching these cars and you're thinking, man, you can go whenever you want. But if you're not careful, you can get trapped back there. Just like
it sounds like the 7 car is sitting back in the pack saving gas, and he came and topped off as well. So it'll be interesting to see how all of this strategy plays out at the end. Early inspires what rolls into yours. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. It's now time for the Progressive Race Summary. We've seen a few leaders, and I think 7 lead changes, 8 lead changes, 7 leaders, 34 cars on the lead lap, 4 cautions, and 21 caution laps. And I think those caution laps are going to be more important for a lot of these guys that are playing the strategy at the end.
You hear he thinks his right front might be going down. You got these leaders who are all going to pit. And on the pit road, on the apron, it's wet. The track is seeping from when it rained here on Thursday, I believe. So this is going to be a big moment right here. Make sure everyone knows.
This is a big opportunity for something bad to happen. You can see the water coming on the pit road. Whoa!
Yep, right. And then you see he got right in that water, and he's going to be okay here. Well, I of thought he was going to save that.
Bubba?
Yeah, Elliott Sadler's just coming down. Looks like for fuel only, as we've seen a big old mess getting on the pit road there. The 16 as well, just taking right sides. And it looks like they're going to do 4 tires here. But, the one's already off pit road, so down to you, Eric.
Inaudible here on the 42 car. The mishap coming out of the pit road, they're going to switch over. No, sorry, fuel only still, even after the spin. They're going to go down and away and try to make it to the end of the race.
Well, that was eventful.
You knew
And
it.
we knew it was coming.
I said, well, I knew for qualifying. I saw that water, as we all did, coming on the pit road. And, man, when he came down there, he had a big head of steam. Always a good opportunity for something bad, catastrophic to happen. And also, the one car of Elliott Sadler was too fast entering. He probably did that when he saw the 42 coming on so fast.
He might have.
And he had to get around him because he was coming back across. So just a lot going on right there.
I tell you, in a speeding penalty right now at the end of the race, this is a tough time. Ryan, what do you got with the 98?
The 98 of Chase Briscoe bringing that Ford Mustang down for four tires and fuel, trying to get back out there and make it to the end of this race. Eric, what do you got?
20 came down, takes fuel only. He's going to do the same strategy, just trying to keep some track position here and trying to make it to the end of the race.
You saw those two teammates leaving, pitting on the same time together. I think you'll see a lot more of that tomorrow. That's something we all talk about playing and try to get out there because that's how you make the most of time.
I have to. Y'all yelling at me by Rick at 42. He was going to hit you if he didn't.
Yeah, I mean, that's really
Yeah.
what you had to do. You had to speed up to try to protect your car. And, the 42 was committed right here, and you're going to see him hit the water. And as soon as he hits the water, the thing starts to swap ends on him, and Elliott had to gut it to keep from getting T-boned in the left rear. So that was that was a very unique situation that, fortunately for Elliott, didn't wind up in a wrecked race car. Unfortunately, it wound up in a penalty.
Well, and now you see some of the strategy all starting to play out. Justin Allgaier, Jeff Green, Austin Cindric, your top 3 right now. Those cars are the ones that are saving fuel, that pitted before we went green, and now you see them up here racing for the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot going on right there. As we all know, is coming when you have to pit, and some cars already pitted, some didn't. As you pitted with those teams, like I saw the Toyotas doing, all of that plays into how this all comes back together as they catch cars and get those runs and who establishes the leading group.
But at this point, the 7, the 22, those cars are not saving fuel anymore. They got no one to back up to. They can't save, they can't lift. They got to be wide open all around to keep up with this little pack that right in front of them.
And I think that it's important to explain how you can save fuel back there. When you're back in a pack and they're 2-3 wide in front of you, you can actually run around there half throttle and maintain speed, saving a lot of fuel doing so.
Well, it's all interesting because you have so many little packs, but let's hear what the 42 had to say.
Yeah, it's maintaining. It's not doing anything different. The wet spot getting off pit road and split sideways. 10-4, I thought.
Well, here's a sign. That wet spot's been there for 3 days.
Yeah.
And that is something that the spotters should have definitely reminded him of coming to pit road, because when he came to pit road, he was committed to be passing the one car, in my opinion. He was trying to pass him coming to pit road. Ryan?
Let's talk to Brian Wilson, the crew chief of the 22 car for Austin Cindric. Them and the 7 car who came down and pitted a few times in the last caution. They're going to try to make it to the end. They're very, very close. But they might be in the catbird seat if this thing goes green. They get a little bit of traffic help. They could make this thing to the end.
I think the one part that's tough, you see Austin Cindric in that Fitzgerald Mustang has lost touch of Justin Allgaier a little bit. You can see he's already 2 seconds back. That'll keep growing until Austin's able to find a drafting partner.
And they're small groups right now, so you've got 5 cars, 3 cars, 2 cars, and they're all spread out, and they're all on different strategies, and we get to see how it plays out.
Awesome.